Namaste, beautiful yogis. Today's class is going to be a quick, intense, powerful impact vinyasa yoga sequence. It's designed to be somewhat quick, and at the same time we're going to boost our metabolism and get everything moving and get on with our day. The class is very energizing. I'm tempted to call it a coffee cup yoga class. Let's begin at the front of our mat. Feet are pointing directly forward. Inhale the hands over your head. Extend your tailbone down. You can arc here. And coming back to neutral spine, grabbing your wrist with the opposite hand and bending over to one side. Side bends, reaching, switching sides. And back to center. And let's step onto the right foot and take a one-legged chair. Go as deep as you can and push your hips as far back as you can. Transition into warrior one. Hips are square and level, hands over the heart. Keeping the curve in the lower back, flex your foot. And transition into one-legged chair from here. Try not to touch the floor. Work with your balance. Chest is open. Back to warrior three. Starting off a sequence with balancing poses brings your attention right here and now, right now. And back to chair, do your best. If you find that this is very challenging for you, just come back to this class a few times. Try to overcome your weaknesses. And back to warrior three. Here we're gonna extend the hands down on the floor. Step your feet together, forward bend, interlacing the fingers behind the head and gently pulling on the skin over your skull to stretch the neck. Hands on the floor, look ahead of you, flat back. Inhale your hands all the way over your head, arching. Inhale back to neutral. And again, clasping the hands, side bends. Reaching over to one side, back to center, and over to the opposite side. Lengthening equally both sides of the torso. And let's step onto the left foot and switch. Sit back. One-legged chair. Belly is in, chest is open, shoulders down. Transition into warrior three. Level the hips, flex your foot, press your heel away from you. Spin your right hip down and back to one-legged chair. And warrior three. Pull the belly in, keep your chest open. One-legged chair, extending that right leg in front of you. And last, warrior three. Keep your breath deep and slow, and you can release the hands and the feet on the floor, forward bend, shaking your head, looking left to right. Inhale, look ahead of you, and let's step into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back and down, and you can rock your hips side to side here, looking over the right shoulder and over the left. One more time. Shifting hips side to side. Back to chaturanga, strong. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide open. Walking in place here, pull the belly in. And let's inhale the right leg up. We're gonna come into one-legged plank, shoulders over the wrists. Lower down, one-legged chaturanga, plank. One more time, chaturanga plank. Third time, chaturanga plank, and this time circle the knee. Drawing a big circle with your right knee, staying in plank 5 times. 4, 5. Side knee tuck, bringing the knee 5 times into your right elbow. And step your right foot between your hands, come up, high lunge. Lowering the right knee down and going into a back extension. Left hand on the floor, lift your left knee off the floor and twist. Bring your right hand up. And here we're gonna stack the feet on top of each other in side plank. Bring your hand behind your neck and let's do side knee crunches. 10 all together, side plank knee crunches. Keep your hips lifted here, your arms strong, shoulders strong, belly strong, and breathe. Exhale as you bring your knee into your elbow. Switch sides and you're gonna bring left knee to right elbow. Do your best here, keep your hips lifted. Keep pulling your belly in. 10 reps. And when you're done, you can come down to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. Pull the belly in and up. Lift your tailbone as high as you can. Spread the fingers open. Shoulders away from the ears, coming onto the tippy toes. Jump into chair. Sit as far back as you can. And let's bring the hands behind us, interlacing the fingers. Lift your right shoulder up and look over your right shoulder. Back to center and over to the left. The belly is in, knees are square. Back to center, chair. Hands down on the floor, grabbing our calves, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. And let's jump or walk back to plank or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up, one-legged plank, chaturanga, plank, chaturanga, plank, and pushing up. And now knee circles. 5 knee circles. Keep your belly in and your hips steady. And 5 knee to elbow. Left knee, left elbow. Keep your belly in. Keep your breath steady. Chest open. And step your left foot between your hands. Come up, high lunge. And lower down the right knee on the floor, going into crescent lunge. Let's bring the right hand on the floor. Left arm reaches up, twist. Press the back heel away from you, sink your hips a little lower. And prepare to go into side plank. Right arm on the floor, right hand on the floor, and go into crunches. Left knee to left elbow, pull your belly in and lift your hips as high as you can. The right wrist is directly underneath the right shoulder. Exactly 90-degree angle between the body and your arm. Let's switch. Now we're bringing right knee to left elbow. Trying to keep the balance here. Aligning your wrists underneath your shoulders is essential for the health of your wrists, so make sure you can check in a mirror or ask someone to tell you if you're aligning properly. And when you're done, you can walk your feet to the center of the mat and wrap your wrists around your elbows. Hang. Upper body is hanging here. Great, and you can reach in front of you with your hands stretching the back. And now step back into downward facing dog. Now let's jump the feet forward into chair pose. Clasping the hands behind you one more time, press the wrists away from you. Take the right leg all the way back into high lunge and look up, open the chest. Slowly lower your upper body down towards your left ankle. Forehead towards the ankle, and keep pressing the hands away from your back. Coming back up, and we're gonna face the left leg and open the chest towards the wall to your left. Coming back to center. Inhale your hands over your head. Exhale your hands on the floor. Step your feet together the front of the mat. Chair pose. One more time clasping, this time changing the clasp, and take your left leg back. High lunge. Look up. Open the chest up. Slowly begin to lower your chest down, forehead towards the right ankle. Hands are pressing away from the back, opening, softening, freeing the shoulder, the front of the shoulder. Press the back heel away from you for balance. Slowly coming up, facing your right, twist. Hands are still pressing away from your back. Soften your shoulders. Look up. Coming out of this. Inhale your hands over your head. Exhale them on the floor. And let's step the feet at the front of the mat. Chair pose. Sitting as far back as you can. Inhale. Coming up, arching. And coming up to standing mountain pose. Big breath in, hands over the head. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, look ahead of you. And let's jump or walk to Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Step the right foot between your hands. Bring the back heel down on the floor. Warrior one. Sink a little deeper here. Hands over the heart, and let's open into warrior two. Sink a little deeper in your warrior two. Hands behind you, interlacing the fingers. Open the chest. And now lower your torso over your right thigh. Side angle with the clasp behind you, really lengthening both sides of the torso here. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. And you can extend your hands in front of you, using your core. Great. Bring the hands down on the floor. And you can even lower onto your elbows here. Lower the back knee on the floor. Walk your back knee as far back as you can and breathe here. We're building up heat, warmth here, and at the same time we're stretching. So we're developing flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular capacity at the same time. And you can roll onto the outer edges of your feet here. You should feel it in your right hip. This is a great hip opener. If you feel like it, you can pause the video and hang here for a little longer if you have the time. This sequence is designed for before work, wake me up type of sequence, so that's why I didn't stay for as long as usual. And lower down into Chaturanga, upward facing dog, back to Chaturanga, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take the left leg up. Bring the left foot between your hands, come up, warrior one, extending the tailbone down. Sink a little deeper here. Bringing the right hip forward. And let's open into warrior two. Stepping the right foot a little further back to take a little wider stance here. Sink a little deeper, clasp behind you. Open your chest, lift through your heart up towards the ceiling, keeping both sides of the torso, lengthening here, lower down, side angle, opening that right shoulder up towards the ceiling, right rib cage is opening. Keep your stance a little deeper here and release your hands ahead of you. This develops core strength. Great. Both hands on the floor. Lower the right knee down and lower down onto your elbows if you have the flexibility for this. Hold here and breathe into your hip, hamstrings, quadriceps, hip flexors. Softening. Keep your exhalations complete. And let's roll onto the outer edges of the feet here. Breathe. Experiment with this pose. See where, in what position it works for you. You will find sweet spots in it. Great. And slowly coming onto the hands, stepping back plank, lower down Chaturanga. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under, upward dog, Chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog, spread the fingers open. And we're gonna do 20 hops on the outside of the mat in plank, 20 star plank jumps. Move as quickly as you can, keeping your belly tight, your hips level, counting only when the feet are out. If you need to take a break, do that. Once you're done, upward facing dog, back to Chaturanga, and exhale in downward facing dog. Pressing the tailbone high. Spread the fingers open, look ahead of you. Bring the ears between the triceps. And let's bend the knees and jump into chair one more time. Deep chair pose. And inhale, coming up to standing, arching. Hands over the heart. Let's bring the hands on the lower back, fingers pointing up, elbows working towards each other. Press the hips forward, going into a standing back bend. Keep pressing your hips forward here, and your lower back is lifting away from your fingertips. If you can walk your hands down your legs towards the calves. To come out of this, take your time, slowly coming out of this, up to standing, reaching over the head. Exhale, dive down, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Hands on the floor. Jump into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Back to Chaturanga. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Step your right foot between your hands. Lower the back heel down. Warrior one. Sink a little deeper in your warrior. Exhale your hands behind you. Open your chest. lift through your heart. And let's straighten the front knee and open the chest, going into a mild back bend. One more time, legs are straight. Great. Prepare for triangle feet alignment, opening the right foot directly forward, reaching through the crown of the head here, lower down. Both sides of the torso are lengthening, clasping the hands behind. Great. And you can release into triangle pose. Lifting the arches of the feet, extending the left arm over the head. Bring the other arm forward. Come up. Warrior 2. Sinking as deep as you can here, all the way up to bringing the thigh to parallel to the floor. Bringing the femur to parallel. Great, let's bring the hands down on the floor, star alignment. Fingers pointing towards each other, and jump the feet forward and back 10 times. Keeping your belly tight. And once you're done, moving through a vinyasa, upward dog, chaturanga, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Step your left foot between your hands. Come up, warrior 1. Exhale, your hands behind you. Clasping, open your chest, sink a little deeper. And let's straighten the front leg and open here, looking up. Great, come up to standing. The feet are in triangle pose alignment. Hinging at the hips, begin to lower down, clasping with your hands, using your core, using your breath. The legs are working here, the arches are lifting, engaging the quadriceps. Looking up, lengthening. Release one hand down and extend the right arm up and over your head. You can reach with both hands forward. Keep your belly in, come up to standing, and warrior 2. And let's lower the hands, star alignment. Step your feet back to the side, standing on the side of your right foot, and jump your feet forward and back 10 times. Try to keep your breath strong or steady, and jump as quickly as you can. Once you're done, moving into a vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, up dog, chaturanga, down dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Here you're gonna bend your right knee and see if you can grab your right foot with your right hand, left hand in the center of the mat. And now switching hands, right hand on the floor, left hand, right foot. Focus on the gazing point and come into a plank here. Do your best. Even open your leg up. Great. Lower down. This is a challenging balancing pose. It doesn't look like much, but it's quite challenging. Let's inhale the left leg up, bending the knee. Left hand, left foot. Do your best. Let Your eyes fix on a gazing point and change sides, right hand, left foot. Try to find some form of a plank here. Lifting the leg behind you. And release. Let's bring the knees down on the floor and lower your chest down on the floor. This is a back bend that we tend to do quite often. Great. The next pose is a bit advanced, so maybe try to see it first before you attempt to do it. We're gonna go into either full lotus or half a lotus, or if you can do lotus, you can just come into Sukhasana. Easy pose, any easy pose. From here, we're gonna point the fingers back at us. Elbows are coming below the belly and begin to shift your weight forward, lifting your legs off the floor. And release back into a cross-legged seated or lotus pose with a forward bend. And let's bring the feet in front of us, legs extended. Inhale your hands up, exhale forward bend. Paying attention to your exhalations here. Softening your hamstrings. Flex your feet and pull your toes back in towards you. Inhale coming up. And let's bring the feet together, a little further away from you than for Baddha Konasana. And with your elbows here, you're gonna press your calves down and lower your forehead to your feet. Make sure that there is a form, diamond shape form between your legs here. Great, moving on. Right leg extended, left leg grabbing the left foot with the hands and extending here. And we're gonna bring the knee behind the shoulder, right hand, left foot extending, moving into an arm balance, chaturanga. And lower down. And let's switch sides. We're gonna grab the right foot, straighten the leg. Let's bring the knee behind the shoulder or behind the elbow and straighten. And from here, moving into an arm balance, we're gonna wrap the feet around each other, lifting the bum off the floor and lowering down into chaturanga alignment, hands. Slowly lower down. And let's round the back and slowly lower down. We're gonna lay on our backs. Right knee into the chest. Exhale your right knee across. Shoulders down, supine twist. Coming out of this, switching sides. Left knee. Exhale, twist. Look over to your left. Inhale, coming out of this. And let's bring the soles of the feet together. hands behind the head, lift your legs off the floor, press your lower back into the floor, reach in front of you, and we're gonna go into very slow bicycles, opposite elbow to knee, extending the legs in between. The point here is to keep your belly in the whole time. Try not to let your stomach pop out. Try to press your belly down, press the lower back into the floor, and this should be very, very challenging if you're doing it the right way. Again, opposite elbow to knee, drawing the stomach in here, keeping the belly in. Bicycle, slow bicycle, back to center. And you can lay down. Prepare for bridge pose, feet parallel to each other, lifting the hips off the floor, lift as high as you can, feet are hip width apart, bringing the chest in towards the chin. To lower down, slowly lower down. And you can bring your hands on the floor, elbows on the floor, fish pose. Open the chest, back bend, and release. You can bring your hands over your head, point your toes, and stretch your belly here. Hug your right knee into the chest, draw a few circles with your right knee. Stretch your hands over your head, left knee circles, bringing the circles into the hip joint, stretching over the head. One more time, right knee in, circles, stretching over the head, and left. And let's bring the soles of the feet together. Lower the feet down on the floor. Open the chest, drop the shoulders down, supine butterfly pose. Allowing the breath to come back to natural, normal. You can stay here or you can extend your legs one at a time for a quick shavasana, depending on the time you have available. You can stay here for as long as you need to. If you're doing this before work, you can come into a seated, easy seated pose for a quick meditation, quieting the breath and observing the breath. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.